of just in case. Like because sometimes it's a little bit hard the day of, and you want to come prepared. Okay, let's see. We talked about that there are 3 stations during the day that you go through all of them. Okay, spoke about all these. Okay, something that happens after your tzavlishon, you get a temporary date for the day that you have to go into the army, your draft date. A personal user is created on the website Olim Al Madim. You can just write in Google Olim Al Madim, and you will get a letter, and over there it tells you your username is your Teudat Zehut number, and it also comes with a code. And that way you could go on and you could check to see where, like, when is your draft date and what's going on with you. It's a good site to know, to remember. You also, whoever wants to go into intelligence and they got enough, like a high enough score, then they're already going to start getting
invitations.
Yes. Invitations. And then girls get summoning for the Yom Me'ah. It's a Yom Iyun Tasaroti. So Miyun is screening, Itul is detection, and Hakdama is suitability. That's what it stands for, Yom Me'ah. It's a day that pretty much, it's a day that they didn't always have this. It's been, I don't know exactly for how many years they've been doing this, but it's been a while already, and they do it only for girls because most girls don't go into combat units. It's a day that pretty much they test so many different things, and it only benefits you. It gets them to know you better, to see where you will fit in, and pretty much it's good for you and also for the army. So they check many different things. It's a long day. It's important to come on time, to bring with you water and food and everything. I'm just going to check. Okay, it's not here. They check all of these things, it says over here. Pretty much you have a lot of different stations that you go through with the same girls throughout the entire day. These people are testing you all day long, and you just want to do the best that you could do. One is speaking in front of a crowd with, you have to make up a topic, and you have to, you have like 7 minutes, and to all the girls that are with you on that day, you have to talk about something. So it's important to think beforehand what you want to talk about, something that will interest people. You don't want to use a topic that is, it's very regish. The word is,
sensitive.
Yeah, a sensitive topic. You want to make sure that it's suitable. It's like, it's a whole day. It's like, I don't know how much to go into because I see that not everyone here is girls. They check many different things. What's important to remember is to do your best and to not worry that if in one station it didn't go so well, it's fine because you have so many other stations. And you just, every single time that you have another station, just try to do your best, take a deep breath. It's okay. Other girls have done it beforehand, and it's really, it only benefits you. After, there's something called Manila. This is something that you get on the computer. It's a preference questionnaire. It's a little bit annoying, to be honest. It's like this whole big thing that you have to do on the computer. You don't have to do it all at once. It has here, you could do it over a period of 3 weeks. It has 2 parts. One is questions on personal positions and opinions. You can only fill that out once. So you want to make sure that you're really filling out what you want. That's where they ask you, what would you like to do in the army? And say what you want to do. And the other one is rating of positions. That's where they tell you all the different jobs that you can do in the army that you're qualified for. And you say what you want to do the most and what you want to do the least. Also also notice it's things that you want to do. And also remember that the Army has its own needs, and it's very important to remember that we're servicing our country. So it could be that you might want something and you won't get it, but that's also where Aluma comes in, so I'll talk about that a little bit later. So this is an example of what the questionnaire looks like. It's on the site Olim Al Madim, that's how you do it. So that's like another one. So this is just like really explains what's on there. Okay, so then we got some tips. The first part of the questionnaire can be filled out only once, so you really want to make sure that you read all the small letters, and if you're having trouble with Hebrew, a lot of people speak Hebrew and English, so you can always call someone up and you can ask them. You can ask people who have done it already. Okay, I'm going to talk about Alima in a minute. Okay, there are many different jobs in the army. You can also, I don't have any with me, but you can look online to see all the different jobs that there are for women. It's very interesting to hear about all the different things. Okay, so there's an exemption from service. It's something called Atzhara. When you're going to talk about Shilutumi, so you're going to talk more about it. I just want to say one thing. You can ask for an exemption from the army, especially as a religious girl. Almost all my friends did that. They went to the Rabbanut, and they say, okay, because I'm religious, I can't do the army, I don't want to do the army. You get this form, and pretty much you give it to the army. You can fax it in, or you just go and you give it to them, and they say, okay, you don't have to do the army, and then you decide to do Shil Humi, which is national service. Once you get an exemption, you can do something. It's called Bitul Hatzara. It's canceling your exemption, pretty much saying, like, I know I got an exemption, but I still want to do the army. You can do that, but once you do that, you can't ask for an exemption again. That's why I always tell people the best thing to do is to leave all your options open, to go to the Tzav Rishon and to go do the Yom Me'ah, and then to see what's right for you, because you can ask for an exemption up to 90 days before your draft date. So that's 3 months beforehand. That's enough time. I just see that with a lot of girls, suddenly they ask for it and then they don't want it, and it's a really hard time. I remember being at that age and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And I'm just saying, leave your options open. I think that national service is amazing. I think that the army is amazing, and I think that there's the right position for every single girl out there. You just have to find it, and you have to really check and see what's right for you. So that's my tip to every single girl that I meet is don't ask for an exemption right away, because there are positions for religious girls in the army, and I had a very meaningful service, and I'm so glad I did the army. Okay, now I'm going to talk about Alima. Alima was this NGO that I was talking about, that it's only for religious girls. What's amazing about this organization is that they help so much. We have offices in Lud, and we also have inside Tel Shomer, which is a base in the center of Israel, by the hospital of Tel Shomer. Pretty much, if you're religious, you can ask for so much help from them. If you want a certain job in the army and you didn't get it, you could call them up and you can ask them. We have these amazing soldiers that that's their job. They just help the religious girls as much as they can. We go through schools and we explain about the Yom Ha'ah, about the Tzav Rishon. Also, if you get enough, if you want, we call it a Chug Bait. It's pretty much an evening that we go to a girl's house and she gets enough, up to 8 to 10 friends, and we talk about the different jobs in the army and what it's like doing the Tzav Rishon, the Yom Ha'ah, and it doesn't cost anything. You just have to ask for it. So you could look for them on the Facebook page. Some of the activities that we do, I said we do the Chugei Bait, that we go to the homes, we go to schools, and we talk about the whole process. We also have something called the Week of Gadna, which is amazing. Even if you want to do Shil Leumi, it's still nice to see what this is like, this chavaya.
See what you're getting out of.
What?
See what you're getting out of.
Yeah, well, exactly. Not really, because I wasn't in combat and it's nothing like that. That's pretty much, it's like going through basic training in a week. We have it twice a year. One is a week during Hanukkah, the other one is a week in the summer. It's very cheap. It costs 120 or 150 shekels, and you go for a week to a base. It's either up north or down south, and you see what it's like. You get the uniform. You also get to go to a shooting range. You get to see more Israeli girls that are also religious, and we also have a lot of women that work for Alima over there, so that you can ask us questions. And anyway, it's very nice. We also have a Shabbat for the Alima girls. We call it the Shabbat Mikliptot. It's the girls that are debating if to do army or not. And again, it's a Shabbat that you see more girls that are in the exact same position as you, that they're not sure what to do. And it's pretty much just to talk to the other girls, to make more friends, to see what they're thinking, and to hear about more jobs. And also, again, there are people from Aluma that are at that Shabbat, and they help you decide. We also have the newsletters. We pretty much, the thing that's most important to know is the call center. It's from Sunday to Thursday, from 9 to 9. You can ask any question. If you already started your Tzav Rishon, we have, it's all computerized, so we know where you're at. We know what jobs there are out there for you if you already did your Yom Me'ah, and pretty much if you want a specific job, we can help with that. So there's a number. This is our website. If you just go to aluma.org.il, into תוכניות הכנה לשירות, משרתות באמונה. You could go into טפסים והרשמה, that's to register. Okay, you just write inside everything. This is our number. You can also call Mayan, who's an English speaker herself. Pretty much we're there to help. That's what we do. Okay, and that's it. Do you guys have any questions? Yeah.
Is that just for religious girls, or can any girl call the Aluma Center?
So it's specifically for religious girls. What I said about the Yom Me'ah is
it's a good support network.
Yeah, it's something that I always say. If you go to religious school,
Yeah.
You're considered a religious girl.
Okay.
So that's just something that I found out while I was doing it.
Yeah.
But whatever I said about the Yom Me'ah is relevant to all girls. It has
Okay.
nothing to do with being religious or
Okay.
not. Okay. Yeah.
When do you normally get the summon for the Yom Me'ah?
So it depends on your Tzav Rishon. There are different dates. Now you can call, you can either call Meitav or you could call Aluma up if you already did your Tzav Rishon and you didn't get a letter for your Yom Me'ah. You can call them up and you can ask them.
Just the number for the Army in regards to request it, *3529.
Star 3529?
Yeah, it's Meitav, and then you can tell me you receive it and you want to do it.
Rachav, can you tell us what you did in the army?
I was a Mora Chayelet. I spoke a little bit about it beforehand. I worked in a youth village. It's specifically where I worked. It's kids that were taken out of their homes. A lot because of financial problems. I worked a lot with Ethiopians, but also a lot of kids. It has to do with the way that they grew up and everything. But we had a lot of kids and they were like house arrest in the youth village. I'm going to talk about the program that I went through. It's called TAFTAF, which is Talmud Torani. It's specifically a program that's only for religious girls. That way, I didn't have like any problems of keeping kashrut or Shabbat or any of those things because I was only with religious girls. I was actually working in this youth village. The only Army-related thing was me. Like all the kids, they're not soldiers. They were too young to be soldiers. I helped them going to their Tzav Rishon. I worked with boys in 11th and 12th grade. Amazing job. If anyone wants to hear about it after, I'd love to tell you about it. Actually, I'm studying social work, so it really helped me decide what I'm doing today. That's basically it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everyone who spoke till now. Now we're going to focus the rest of the program on Shirut Leumi, National Service. National Service began, and we just want to put the program up. National Service began about 40 years ago when many religious girls didn't necessarily feel they had a place in the Army. Now today, after hearing Rahel speak, but knowing also from before that we know that there's a great place in the Army for religious girls, and it's growing all the time. So we really hope tonight that you come away knowing that there are great options for you, young men and women, and in no matter what your background is. A few things I just wanted to mention before I go into more details about National Service is okay. I think it's in the same as the Army. is just to talk about what Ruben mentioned about Mechina, like a year, or Hesder, or any program, even something called Shnat Shirut, Shin Shin, which is a year after high school, pre-Army or pre-Shirut Leumei. And coming from a North American mentality, we always think 18, finish high school, go to college, get your degree, get your profession, start your life, hurry up. And in Israel, it's a completely different mentality because young people growing up in Israel know that they're going to graduate high school and have something totally, totally different experience in front of them serving their country. And they grow up with that concept and that a certain, or probably a certain excitement that comes with it. And not necessarily focusing on their future at the time. It's very normal for young people to not start college till 24, 25 years old because of the years in front of them of service. And knowing, I can tell you how much they get out of that service. They give a tremendous amount and they get a tremendous amount in terms of growth and maturity and leadership skills and really learning who they are, and then when they're ready to study, they're at a really different place in life to think about their future. The year of Mechina would add a year to that, or a year of Hesder, and even add more to that, or a few years. Mechina is for any type of background, men, women, different types of Mechinot, but it's a whole nother year to help you get ready for the Army, because when you're 18, you are young, and that gives you a whole nother year or a whole nother period of time to grow, develop, mature, develop your leadership skills, develop your focus, and then go into the Army. Because as everyone who spoke about the Army, it comes with a tremendous amount of challenges that you want to feel prepared for. The second thing that I want to mention before we talk about Shirut Leumei is being a parent, being an OLEP parent of children who are going to go through something that you've never gone through. And that's a whole nother evening or a whole nother discussion, but it's a very interesting thing to start thinking about. Because I didn't do the Army, but I'm going to have children in the Army. And not just the language, but what they're going through requires a certain sensitivity and knowledge. And just coming tonight shows that you want to start getting information, you want to become knowledgeable, you want to connect with your child over an experience that you might not have gone through yourself, but you want to support. And it's a lot to learn, as we're seeing, but your children will only benefit from how much you support them and in their process and share with them, and I'm sure proud of them as well. Okay, are we in the Shirut Leumei? Okay, I'm gonna start. Shirut Leumei, as I said, is national service that began around 40 years ago to help girls who said, you know what, I don't think Army's for me. At the time, it might have been true. Today, I feel differently, but at the time, certain girls didn't feel like Army was for them. They wouldn't have, it wouldn't be good use of their time. They wouldn't contribute in their best way. It wouldn't be good choices for them, and they were simply saying, I'm not going to the Army, and that was it. They were done. And it was a shame because they had so much to contribute and they had so much that they could also get out of the experience, and that's when National Service Shirut Leumei began. It started with one placement organization and it grew to 4, and today over 20,000 girls every year are in National Service placements all over the country. Nefesh B'Nefesh is just one example where 9 girls are serving, and I'll introduce you to those girls in a few minutes. But any type of organization and facility all over this country are going to have Banot Shirut, which is National Service placement girls. So while I'm looking, I'm gonna look in a minute. But basically, the process starts in 12th grade February 14th is the sign up this year. Every year you find out from your school or from us, how do you know when to sign up? All right, how many of you are in 12th grade right now and thinking about Shirulumi? Okay, you're thinking about Shirulumi and 11th grade, okay. And you're thinking about Shirulumi. Okay, thank you for, apologize, but Shirulumi is not just an option for girls. If you have an exemption from the Army for whatever reason, you can definitely serve male or female in Shirulumi, and I have good contacts in those placement organizations with great job options. Yay! Okay, so okay. Okay, I said this, okay. Generally in schools, most schools talk about Shirulumi, bring in coordinators and give you a lot of guidance in 12th grade. But it's good to start getting information ahead of time, and there are some schools who don't provide that much information, so that's why we're here. Besides that, we have a growing number of girls who aren't even citizens, who just come to Israel without their families and decide they want to serve, so we provide a lot of resources for them as well. Rachel mentioned about the exemption. Once you get that tzad rishon, every citizen is going to get that tzad rishon in the mail. Did everyone get it? Okay. So once you get it, you probably will start thinking about whether you want to serve in the army or not. As Rachel said, you don't have to make that decision right away. But if you have made the decision and you definitely do not want to serve, then you go to the Rabbanut. It's actually down the street in Jerusalem, but if you live somewhere else, it's in your city or town, and you make a statement. It's a very simple 1-minute statement. Maybe I'll ask Leora to explain that, but it's because she just went through it. And you pay 40 shekel, and you get a letter, and that's what you take with you to the Army draft office and say, I'm just handing in my letter, I'm asking for an exemption. You won't get it on the spot, they'll mail it to you. If it doesn't come in a long time, let us know and we can find out why you didn't receive it. But that's the 2-step process of getting it on the exemption. If you've decided you definitely don't want to serve in the Army or you're exempt, well, that's how it works. At that point, you're choosing anyway to serve. And once you decide to make that decision, I believe it comes with a commitment. Even though you're exempt and don't have to do anything, you're going to make a personal commitment. I'm serving anyway, and I want to make a full commitment. Some girls do one full year. It starts on September 1st. Some girls do 2 years because that's what you would do in the Army. Up to you. Really, it goes back. It's really up to you. And that's another thing I want to say about Shirulumi is that that there's so many options, and one thing I would say is very different from the Army is that the Army wants to help you find the placement that's right for you. But once you're in that placement, and it might be a great placement, but that's it. Like that's your placement, and they pretty much channel you to that spot, that one job, hopefully an amazing job. In Shirulumi, it's all up to you what you want to decide, in the area that you're going to go, and how to get to that. And if it didn't work out or you change your mind, you can switch, because it's not as rigid a framework as the Army. The Army is a very big. What?
A lot of bureaucracy.
Yeah, there's bureaucracy that comes with it, as with any major government organization. But in the Army, it's even with all the advocacy we could provide from organizations like Aluma Nefesh B'Nefesh. Once you have your job, you'll make the best of it. We hope, but that's your job. And in Shirulumi, there's a little more room to move with it. Okay, if you're fairly Nualan, you want to develop Hebrew, Shirulumi is a great place to do that, because you're going to be immersed in working you're in a Hebrew environment day in and day out in your job. If there's anything I haven't read or you have questions about, otherwise I'm going to move on. The range of opportunities is wide and huge and up and down the country. It could be in a city, it could be in a kibbutz, it could be in the Negev, it could be on a moshav, it could be in a school, it could be in a hospital, it could be working with elderly, it could be community work, it could be working in special ed, it could be working in an office. And Leora will tell us more about that as well. the great thing about these kinds of opportunities, it could be in a field that you think that you might want to explore for your future. And it could be something that you just want to spend a year doing because you have that opportunity to do it. And it's not, has no effect on your future, but you have this great year to just give and gain from a completely new experience. How do you start thinking about what you want to do? I always go back to just talk to anybody you can who's been in Shirley Lumi. How has their experience been? Where did they work? Why did they choose that? You're going to get a lot of information. There's a wealth of amazing people to talk to about their experiences, and just start exploring. Do you want to be in the city? Do you want to live close to home? Do you want to live far from home? Do you want, and especially the Hebrew, as I mentioned, it's a great opportunity to develop your Hebrew skills. These actually, there's one more organization, Batam Yaminadav, Abu Dhabi, Nadbut, and one more push called Shlomit, are all the placement organizations. They each have a website, and they each have a very long list of places within the organization that you can sign up to visit, interview, and eventually do your Shirut Lumi in. They're all excellent, and they all have great jobs all over the country. I think I'm going to introduce Leora now to tell a little bit about her experience. And one of the benefits of coming to a night like this is afterwards you can always be in touch with any one of us and talk to us about finding out more information or really getting hands-on guidance. Okay, now I have an idea of what Shirut Lumi is or what the Army is, but how do I now go into the website? How do I sign up? And ongoing guidance. Leora. And then we'll go on with the website, anything that you talk about.
Hi, I'm Leora Schreiber. I made Aliyah more than 10 years ago with my family. I live in Chashmonaim, very English speaking. Went to an English speaking high school, YTA, here in Yerushalayim, and I decided to do Shirut Lumi because I always grew up knowing, like, I had brothers in the Army, but like, I grew up knowing as a religious girl, you do Shirut Lumi. Most girls in my class were doing it. I really didn't find the most interest in doing the Army. So that's how I came to my decision. And I felt like I could serve most in, like, the most of my abilities by doing Shirut. Now the process of doing it was very difficult, especially coming from a school that's English speaking, and it was a relatively new school at the time. It was very difficult because they were very new to how the whole process worked, and they started bringing in people from the different agudot that help with Shirut Lumi. But it wasn't helpful because there was a language barrier, and it was a bit difficult at first. And then once I got onto the websites and used like the search thing, how they have, I chose that. I knew I wanted to be in Yerushalayim, so I filtered out only in Yerushalayim. And then I knew I wanted to work in an office. I filled out all offices, and then by that I decided I checked out like 5 different places. I did all office work besides one because I thought like I did need some variety after all. I actually checked out to be a tour guide in the tunnel tours in the old city. Didn't get accepted, it happens. It was a really cool thing though, would have been interested in. But now I work here, I love it, I'm doing marketing. Who would ever known that after 12th grade I'd be doing something that adults learn in college and do, and it's amazing. I've learned so much like stuff and techniques and little jobs and everything that I would not have had the skill to do. A lot of people ask me, why did you decide office work? A lot of people, when they think of Shirut Lumi, they think, okay, it's working with sick children or kids or adult, or elderly people or working in school, but I felt like, again, I could give most of my abilities in an office, and I feel like every day working with Olim coming in is like the most amazing thing, and every time I explain my job, I just keep getting happier and happier, and I go on these group flights and seeing Olim coming in and out of office, and it's like the most amazing experience, and I feel like I'm giving in such a way that some people can't give, and I'm giving the most of my ability. I love every minute of it, and I recommend it. But everyone should do what's the best for them. Again, the choose by location or by your personality or by anything, and really like you can find your own direction from there. And it is possible to do it on your own. And now I'm actually looking to do a second year of shoot because, in my opinion, I mean not everyone could say that, but if a girl is serving 2 years in the Army, I should serve 2 years in Shoot Lumi. It's a bit harder this year again because no guidance, all on my own right now. But I'm looking and hopefully it'll work out well. And yeah, that's all I got.
Thank you. Do you want to say a minute about what it's like just to go into the Rabbanu?
Oh, Rabbanu, it's actually right up the block here. I had no idea where I was going the first time. You go there. It's a lot of like yelling people, a lot of negative things going on in there, but you manage. You find the girls who are also there to Lahatzir, it's called, to
Make this declaration.
make the declaration. You go there, you sign, they have a few things about eating kosher, Shabbat, and Sniut. They ask you a few questions, they just sign, and you go upstairs. There's a judge, you go into a room with, again, a group of girls. There are going to be girls there all the time. He signs it, you get your paper. I went immediately, I didn't even fax it, I went straight from here to Lishchat Hagius, which is near Tachana Markazi. Went there, didn't have to wait in line, didn't have to spend my whole day there. Gave them paper, they signed it, went home, they emailed it to me a few months later, my exemption. It's actually very important to save your exemption. If anything ever happens that the Army wants you, you give them that paper. Like, don't lose it, it's kind of important. Yeah, it just took like 2 hours at most. It wasn't such a big process. That's fine, yeah.
Thank you. I'm going to go on a little bit, and then we're going to save time for questions, or just stay for personal questions. Okay. The Rakazet is a coordinator, and every organization, within the 4 major organizations, have coordinators all over the country for different areas. So we work very closely with one coordinator from every organization. So if you have an idea, or if you're not even sure yet about which organization you want to work with because you're not sure what kind of work you want to do yet, then we can help you at least start the process by contacting one of the coordinators and begin to research that way. Okay. Once you go on the sites and see all the different ideas and talk to people, and you narrow down your thousands of options to a few good ones, what you want to do on the day that it opens up is go on the sites that you've already created a page for, like a web page for yourself, and pick a few places that you want to try out for. And from the day that the placement interviews begin, this is about a month that you can visit a bunch of places, but it goes on even past that month because a lot of young people, even further down the road, way into the spring, even summer, if they haven't found the placement that's right for them, there are always still going to be options open. You pick a few places that you want to visit, and if you didn't get in that week, you try again the next week. There is a whole month of dates that you can keep going on the site and try to find places that you want to visit and interview. They can only accept about 50 girls at a time, but those are, and so don't worry, if you try to get into, I don't know, visiting Shaare Zedek Hospital or a school in Tel Aviv, and it was closed out that day, you'll try again next time, and you'll try again next time, and eventually you'll get a few good choices to visit. We recommend about 3 to 5 places to visit. There are some girls it's hard for, or young people, it's hard for them to narrow it down. That's why we try to help you to try to focus a few good choices that you're going to visit because you have to take time out of school, and it's good to try to narrow it down. What's going to happen on that day is you're going to come with other young people and you're going to visit the place that you want to check out for Shirut Leumi, and you're going to have an interview. Usually it's a group interview with another few people. It's not meant to be intimidating or overwhelming. It's just meant to help you familiarize with the place. Do you really want to work there? And for the place to get a sense of you as well. Most places can take a certain number of young people. So for example, a hospital could take 50 to 100 young people, and a school might take 10. And some places might only take 2. So those are the kinds of things to know ahead of time as well. You want to find out ahead of time why you want to go there. Why is this a place for you? And those are the kinds of things you want to be prepared for in an interview. So I always say, like, if you want to work in this hospital, why do you want to work in that hospital? If you want to work in and what department might you want to work in? It might not be the department you get, but why you want to. You heard it's a great department, you want to study nursing, whatever is your answer. Or you just want to come and try it. So whatever is the right answer for you, just be prepared. It's like interview skills. You can practice with a friend, practice with, hopefully in your school, they'll give you more guidance in that. And I would say just smile, be yourself, and they'll like you. So that's pretty much what happens on those days, but you have several days to try out. Schools understand, this is my day, I'm not going to be here, I'm going to visit, I'm going up to Haifa to check out a museum that I want to try out for, whatever it is, but you have to take days to try out for those sayarot, they're called. Okay, this is a lot of information. I'm just gonna sum up that when you do Shirut Leumi, you get benefits. Did we talk about that? But for the Army, what you get each month? In the Army, you also get benefits, but in Shirut Leumi, first of all, it starts September 1st and ends August 31st. There are many days off, vacation days and sick days, but it's a full year service. You get an apartment with other
Not
people.
always. There
Okay,
are some
there-
places that have and some places that don't.
Right, good to bring up. If you want to live away from home, you want to look for a place that has an apartment that comes with the Shirut Leumi, and if you want to live at home, you want a place that's called Teken Bayit. You live at home. Like a lot of places, if you live in Jerusalem and you want to work in Jerusalem, you might not get an apartment, and you might not want an apartment. But for those who choose an apartment, you'd be in a department with other Shirut Leumi volunteers. It's free, and it's probably a fun experience. And you get a coordinator, as I mentioned. You even have a module, like another counselor. You get a stipend every month, free transportation with from city to city.
Also inner city now, they just changed it.
Right, and it just good. Okay, so you get free transportation, which is a big deal. You get a card that gives you discounts as someone who's serving. When you finish Shirut Leumi, you get an extra sum of money at the very end, automatically put into your bank account called the Ma'anak. And another sum of money that's put away for you that's either for college or some other very specific use. If you don't use it for anything, it's kind of frozen for a few years, and then you can take it out for whatever you want. And you find out about that, but that's extra. Those are all the resources given to you while you're serving. In the Army as well, you get a monthly stipend, free bus tickets, and a lot more. Okay, we mentioned some of the terminology that's good to know. Your coordinators are Rakezet, so yeah, it is the day you visit places that you might want to serve in. Monthly bus card is called the Chofshi Chodshi. You're a volunteer, you're either a mitnadev or a mitnadevet in Shirut Leumi. The Army exemption is called the Patur. You fill out your monthly attendance sheet. This is just some of a lot of terminology that you'll start using, or your child will start using, and you'll just have to get used to hearing. And these are the 4 contact information, placement organizations, as I mentioned before. I can send you this as well. And that is all about Shirut Leumi. I want to just say that it's, as I mentioned before, it's a whole new experience. It's a whole nother chapter in life. It's an exciting time, a tremendous opportunity to serve your country, as is serving in the Army, and an opportunity to grow as a young person and create the world. And I personally, and I'm sure everyone here would applaud all of you who are making this big decision in your life and hope you make the most out of it. I want to thank our Banocha Route for coming, for helping, for serving in national service, for everything that they do for Nefesh B'Nefesh and the country. And that is just giving you a very broad overview of what service for young people is in our country. And thank you very much for attending. Please ask questions, or we'll stay